swinging.
All you can get is those 40-year-olds.
So how you win this game anyway?
There's no winning. It's like life. You don't win at life.
Money helps.
Yeah, but
All right. Where's the pizza?
Mom, there's some out there. It's in the pool shell. It threw the ball at me.
Cool it.
Nobody go out there.
Stop now! You guys stay right here.
You stay here, Mom. We're checking it out.
All good things come more than once, so yeah. Hello again. Nice.
Three times the charm.
Yeah. 3
Yeah.
times is good too, but
Yeah.
maybe more than 3 is better. I just say it. Yeah.
Maybe.
Hello
You never know.
and hello, Saint Lucia. I have a awesome guest with me today, and he's one of the members of the Big Drum Project. You get more details in regards to what is that if you're hearing that for the first time. Right. But I'll let him introduce himself. Go ahead.
Okay, the name is Carlton Ishmael. I've been associated with the performing arts for many a year in various areas, and basically at this point in time I'm participating in the Big Drum Assembly of musicians on the square on Thursday, and hopefully it will be a treat that everybody should find time to take an interest in.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
That's
nice.
an introduction. He said what he said.
I like that.
I will stop coming to work when Ryan coming to work because no way.
No, I'm just there to collaborate and assist, so it's just great. But you mentioned that you're part of the Big Drum Project.
Well, it is a Big Drum Project because it's the first time in our Solution creative history that so many drummers have been assembled together as a musical presentation. And when you're talking about drummers, there are various types of drummers. There are those from what we call, if you're in a band, the trap drummers. That's the one set of drummers. There, and yet even in traditional drumming, there are various aspects of traditional drumming. That's what we call the tradition. So when you're talking about the rural drumming, like debot, kutumba, bele, etc., is one aspect. And then there's the contemporary drumming, what we borrow a little from Trinidad, a little from Jamaica, a little bit of this, and we mix it up, and that makes you a contemporary musician from that perspective.
Wow. See, I just got a music lesson and a history lesson in
There
drumming.
you go.
Like
There you go.
that's a PhD type of thing altogether.
Yeah. Don't make me feel that way.
No, but that's actually very interesting because you mentioned some aspects of drumming. You said bele.
Well, you see, a drum is always associated with dance.
Okay.
And when drum and dance comes together, in fact, music is associated with dance. Anytime you hear music, you react in some way or the other.
Yes.
Whether it's classical music, whether it's rude boy music or things, so it makes you move. So likewise, dance has its drum or music has its origin with dance. So basically, some of the most traditional dances, especially with the areas like Pi, Babano, all these areas where there's a lot of traditional dance, you find there's drummers associated because the basic folk instruments or what we call Mele instruments. A drum is a simple log of wood, you dig it in and you put a goat skin on it, you get thing. Shak is a few beads from the thing and you put it in a tin and you get a music. And the banjo is a goat skin, you put in a thing, like imitating the guitar and you play it. And then the baha is a big thing, so which means the traditional music the musical development of traditional music came from basic people who couldn't afford an instrument.
Alright, that's why you call it Malawi music.
Yeah.
It's still Malawi people who just go and dance to, whilst all the upper class and middle class sit back and watch the performance. They never participate.
A little upper class just tell me to tell you good morning. He says you're his big brother, you know, Lulu.
Ay.
But the message she go on the phone and go and check out Facebook. I know something coming up. I know something coming up. Yeah, but that's actually very interesting because you mentioned that it came from that rural type of beginning, and now it's evolved where now it's actually taking center stage on jazz on the square.
Well, I don't know if it is taking center stage, but it's taking its place musically.
Right. Well, yes, I agree.
I love the way you said that.
Yes. That's great. But I think what is resonating with me a lot is that last year we had what we call the Big Pan Project, and this year we have now evolved and said, you know what, the Big Drum Project.
Okay, well, let me put it. Steel band has been very commonly taught at various levels because it is a lot of participants, whether young, etc. In the old days, it was all about wharf rats playing pan. Then it became a standard musical, and then the ladies got involved, and there's an integrated grouping of people, both young and middle, and all kinds of classes involved in steel band. but the drumming still stayed in the shadows. It has remained in the shadows. We is accompanying musicians. We're not the guitarists and the keyboardists and all the
electric
et cetera.
guitar player,
Yes,
yeah.
we're the ones behind the scene. But for the first time, in fact, it's the second time because really and truly, I used to be working for DC's friend known as Athanasius Laborde. And he was one of the premier drummers as far as hand-playing drums is concerned.
Is that the huge drum I saw in practice?
No.
Has
That in itself, the huge drum, is just a bass drum.
Okay.
But we technically the most flamboyant drum these days is commonly known as djembe, and it's usually originated from Africa, so to speak. But everybody plays the djembe because of the high pitch. Although these days there's a difference depending on your cultural bias, whether you want to put a synthetic skin on it or whether you use the original goat skin. Or because they are varying tones, but all of them with the same objective to hit a drum.
We're learning things.
I said that's some
Yeah,
high.
because
I thought that's some
was
high
like-
science.
Yeah, I know, but you gotta trust the science.
Yes. Trust the science.
Well, I'm not following the Prime Minister perspective from a science point
No,
of view.
well, I wasn't
but we're talking
following
about
his
the rhythm
perspective
and the
either.
drum and the state
Yeah.
that today is highlighted as a major musical instrument. And what is even better is the amalgamation of the various types of drummers and drum beats amalgamated or put together to form a musical presentation, as well as the very junior drummers which evolved from the school.
Okay, that's great because you mentioned a couple of points I want to raise that the inclusion and diversity in drums has even brought into women. And this is a great thing because at some of your rehearsals, which happened that day, Vidbutai Primary School and now at the Cultural Center, as you prepare for, I guess what,
the main stage.
Yeah, dress
Yes,
rehearsal
yes,
and that
right,
day
right,
on Thursday, that we actually have, I saw I would say a balance, but there was a high ratio of male to female
Okay,
drummers.
let's put it like the police force. 90% men, but 10% ladies, and you cannot see the ladies. They must be part of everything these days. In fact, it is even more interesting because about 10 years ago and before that, you only found watchmen. Only men were security guards and taking care. Now, there are more
Here we
female
go.
security than they
Here
have men
we go.
because essential participation and is economic means as well. So the
Yeah.
evolution of women involved in areas that they would not have normally be participated in is becoming more and more common practice these days.
Yeah, I think that is great, and I think that she'll definitely not resonate with her because there's a conversation earlier about diversity and inclusion.
I was waiting for him. I was waiting to prick him.
Okay.
So, but as we mentioned, diversity and inclusion in the arts, we have one person in regards from Soufre. She is a drummer on the Big Drum Orchestra.
Yes,
and I really want to just say hello for her to say hello to Senusha and to the world.
And give her own impressions of what she's
yes,
participating
definitely.
in. Okay, good.
Sancha, are you here?
Put on speaker.
Can you hear Sancha?
Yes, we
Ah.
can hear.
Great. Well, say hello to Senusha.
Hello, St. Lucia. Hi, hello.
Hi, Sancha.
You can hear us clearly, right?
Yes, I'm also here with Nuala. Nuala is part of the Big Drum project as well.
All right, great. So tell us some of your experiences so far, being at rehearsals, learning from the masters, like what we have, the one we have in studio, and Niger Nestor.
Oh yes, it has been a great experience. Coming from Soufre, the journey has been a bit rough, heading to rehearsals and back. But we are so grateful to be among so many legends and learning, and it's really been a journey for us.
Nice. So what can we expect from the female drummers on Thursday?
Oh, you can expect to see the vibes for sure. I will be playing, for the beginning of the performance, I will be playing the big bass. So you can expect to see a lot of movement, a lot of energy that we're bringing as females to the group. And there's also a part of the performance that highlights females. And we will be at the forefront dancing with our drums.
Well,
well.
to me, I didn't hear a ring, but from our host because she's very particular about the inclusion and diversity.
Well, what she's actually saying that the women involved in the music will be highlighted and they will be front stage so as to make sure that they will all be noticed and their participation is valid as far as the evolution of our rhythms.
That is it. Big up the ladies. Yeah, man.
Yeah, that would be great. That would be great. So, what do you think would be the next steps for you and your friend Nyla from Sufra in regards to drumming, and how can maybe you get more females, or you can encourage more females to get into drumming?
Well, we already have our own little drumming group in Fort Jacques, which is actually predominantly female.
Wow.
So we are going to take what we learned from this big drum project, and we're going to instill it in them. Discipline, the rhythms, and everything that comes with putting on such a great performance.
Okay,
So
wow.
that is the
Okay.
step for us.
All right. Well, Sedusha, you heard it that there's actually a female drum line in Fort Jacques. That is my, you could say, my ancestral village. That's where my mom and dad came from.
Okay.
That's where my family is from.
Big up you.
Yeah, and actually I'm speaking to one of my cousins. So yeah, so you see that's why.
He's bigging up his roots.
Yeah.
That's why nobody from Sufra not supposed to date nobody from Sufra.
We're not going there. We're talking about jazz and arts on the square. So, but ladies, just let Senusha know, what do you do for a living? Because you are involved in drumming, which is a great extracurricular activity. But what do you do for a living to get that balance?
Well, we're both actually infant teachers currently. We both teach grade 1 at the Sufra Infant School.
Wow. You see, so a lot of our drummers are not only entrepreneurs, or they do that, we say that side hustle in drumming, in entertaining, but they're also educators. They're
There's
also
also another side to that, if I must say, that the educational system have not found it necessary up to this point to include creative personnel to teach the curriculum of creativity. So teachers themselves now are evolving as people who find it necessary to add this extra curriculum, so that the whole development of the children can be seen beyond the academic
the
realm.
holistic development.
Yeah.
So in other words, like jack of all trades.
Yes, so they have
Master
to
of
evolve
all.
to be part of, participate, and also teach.
I like
Can
that.
we
I
add
like
to
that.
this? Can we
Go
add to
ahead.
this?
Go ahead.
We've been learning a lot of rhythms, right? And teaching infants, you have to be very creative, very, very active. And so we've actually been using some of the stuff that we've been learning at rehearsals to teach the students. So we teach them some, even if it's clapping, just to incorporate some beats in there. So we do use it in the classroom, and we hope that we can continue to grow and to also show females that drumming is not male dominated, and that we can do it, and we have to be part of the culture, and it's okay to be involved in it as well.
You got a ring there, so that means that's a big thumbs up. And I applaud that, and I would say go conquer the world, because as a former educator, I do know that the impact of the arts, especially in the development of young people, it's not only, let's say, music, but music helps develop brain function, and every part of the arts movement, the whole physical aspect, rhythm. I think it's very important as Caribbean people that are descendants from slaves from Africa, some people don't like to say, that we embrace the culture. And I believe that the theme of Big Drum Project, from what Niger mentioned to me, is an evolution of African beats crossing the Atlantic to come to the Caribbean, and the fusion of the different cultures. I even believe we have a Latin...
He's very much right, but he has broadened his horizon or his perspective to the point where he has added a brass section, which is a legitimate group of musicians, and he has choreographed the drumming with the brass. He's also brought in some dancers, which are going to, in a sense, portray the various dance elements that go to the particular rhythms.
You'll have a whole Burna Boy concert going on them.
I don't want you to associate what we're doing in Burna Boy at all. I had mixed reviews on that presentation. But I know on Thursday, people who are musically or creatively sensitive will get a what I call a fascinating presentation, and a nice mixture of the old, the young, the good, the bad, and the ugly, all interfused musically.
Wow, I like that. It seems as if Thursday is going to be the best day for jazz and arts on the square. So if you are not tuning in and you do not know about jazz and arts on the square, you better get to know the information quick. You better go on our social media platforms at Cultural Development Foundation. Find out what's happening on Wednesday, which is tomorrow. Thursday, Big Drum Project. And Friday, where we have our last headliner, which is Matthew Whitaker, Emmy-nominated Matthew Whitaker. And we're certainly going to have a ball of a time. The event is free. As in not $3, you know. Free.
FRW,
No largeur.
But there's also
Yes.
a problem with that because the time is between 10 and 5. And if most people want to see to participate, plus it is free, then you have a problem.
No, don't worry about that.
Worried about
Don't worry about that. I believe that I believe the best time for St. Lucians, if you work in the city center or you come into the city center, the best time for you to come there is after 1 p.m. Of course, there'll be a break where the cathedral there is daily mass. But if you are going to be there for the entire day from 11 to 5, you can partake in any of the, I would say the opportunities, the experiences, and I talk about experience when I say culinary experience by Chef Orlando, or you could of course the sculpture park by Jali.
Food, drink, and you can be merry all in one.
Definitely.
Good.
And of course there is a prequel to the drum project, which is a drum circle. If you have a percussion instrument, or as my friend rightly said here, a bucket and 2 sticks,
a Mele
instrument, you could come and be part of that circle. I know RC boys, they have a great activity, a great project going on, and they will be coming by to participate in that drum circle. So that's your prequel to Big Drum Project. So if you think about taking lunchtime, don't take lunchtime at 12:30. You might want to take lunchtime between 1 and 2, or maybe 1:30 to 2:30. And then maybe you might want to squeeze in a little 15 minutes, say you maybe at the doctor's appointment, something, for you to get until a little 3 o'clock, a little 2, maybe a little 3:30, for you to enjoy the entire myriad of performances, the percussion instruments, and even you might lose a little bit of weight when you leave there, because the amount of beat, the amount of dancing,
also,
the amount of...
let us suggest to all the students who kind of leave school early, rather than gravitate into nothingness and nowhere, come to the square, so at least they'll be able to absorb something creatively and entertain themselves as well as be entertained.
That's awesome. Sansha, you want to say some closing remarks? I know you're a teacher, you have to head back to educating the future.
Okay, yes, sure. I'm just appealing to everybody to come out and support us on Thursday. It is going to be an excellent performance, something like I've never seen before. So I do hope that we get a lot of support from everybody, particularly females, of course.
Yes, I hope so as well.
Inner support.
Yes.
We'll be outside. We're always outside. We support the most.
We're not going there. But thank you very much for your time, ladies. Hope to see you on Thursday in your costumes. I've not seen the costumes yet for the whole orchestra, but all the best. And of course, as they say in the world of arts and theater, break a leg or let's beat those drums. Thank you for having us.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
And before she leaves, I must say I have admiration for the input and the participation in the drumming arena. I mean, I knew of a few people involved, but I didn't know there was ladies with that dynamism. One of the ladies speaking to you there has now been crowned our bass queen. So which means she's so superlative on the instrument. We all now looking at her. Where was she all our lives?
Wow.
Musically, yeah?
Wow. You're a bass lady. Whatever. Okay. I want to know who's the bass lady in that group, But on that note, thank you for having us. And thank you for coming on the call. And enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you so much.
Bye, St. Lucia.
That's Sansha, and who else was with her?
Nyla. Yes,
Okay,
yes. I think Sansha is a former Miss Independence.
Oh,
yeah, that's Sansha.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Sansha Shalmine.
She's familiar with the stage.
Yes, she's very familiar with the stage.
Her presence is very much observed.
Yeah.
Yes, physically, musically, and
Oh
otherwise.
my God! They told me you were geared towards the.
No. You see, I have a good eye for talent. Don't forget, as I said, my background is
He
art.
just said physically. Okay, let's go.
Now, for instance, you if I taught dance for as many years as I did, the first thing you observe when somebody come and want to learn dance or dance is the figure.
It's the figure,
And
right.
whether it's big, small, or crooked or straight, you have to deal with the material you have.
Yes.
So we are not biased about the presence or the size. Our role is to ensure that what we impart is able to be absorbed, and at least you could present it in the best creative way you can.
No, I like how you eloquently put that. That was.
If at any point in time Lulu could just take a little bit from you, he would be untouchable in St. Lucia.
No. Lulu is special. Lulu is special.
You too. I'll tell you that much. Ryan, we are running up on time. Is there anything you want to say before?
Well, I want to encourage St. Lucians to come out. As I said earlier, if you work in the city center or you're passing through the city center, as most of our transportation does, please come to the Derek Walcott Square Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday.
And the drum performance is slated for 3 p.m.
Yes, that is correct.
Showing that drum performance.
Yeah, but I totally agree with him. If you also want to just partake in any of the arts and you don't get a chance to see the drum project, you can also take part in any of the Chef Orlando from Sufra is going to be cooking up some culinary masterpieces. We have Jalim that's going to have a sculpture park. We also have a visual arts exhibition that's happening now. It started yesterday. It's Life in Color. That's at the Place Carinage. We have Junior Jazz happening at Serenity Park on Thursday and Friday. And if it's difficult for you to come to Castries to enjoy jazz and arts on the square, there is of course T-Tax at Lycée, which is a craft and souvenir market at the Rodney Bay
Is there
Strip.
any tea time jazz this year? I haven't heard no mention of it. But
No.
A component of the jazz.
No, there is no
There's
tea
no
time.
tea for jazz this year.
No, there's no tea. So let show.
No
tea. No tea.
It was a Henbuyo and jazz, but not tea and jazz.
No.
It's a problem.
So like talk show.
Okay.
Tea time jazz.
Well,
Okay.
guys, it's been a pleasure to at least get me a chance to express my opinion and my views, and I really would hope that most people who are looking for a thrilling and entertaining performance do come to the square on Thursday at 3 p.m. to see the drum assemble.
Yes, I do agree. Thank you very much for having us, and thank you very much for coming on board. I think it has been interesting. Thank you very much, St. Lucia, for having us.
Thank you guys so much for coming through. This was a good one. All right, when we finish there, I got something to tell him. All right, guys, keep it locked at 913-915 Art and the City. Mr. Ryan, when you coming back? Thursday? Or is this your last week?
I believe this is the last week.
I think this is your last day. No, Thursday. Isn't Thursday the
She's
last
talking
day?
about day, week, or month. Which one?
I pick
Because
up
today's Tuesday.
a sense of melancholy in a voice where she's maybe saying this is my last day, so she's not going to see me again. But I will be here on Thursday, St. Lucia,
Thursday, yeah.
as we have now. I think it's our last day on Thursday,
Yeah.
and we speak about, of course, Big Drum Project just mentioned because it will be on that Thursday,
Right.
and or maybe the first day of Jazz on the Sky would have passed, and it'll be now a distant memory because we're gonna have drums and I know Matthew
Are you
Whitaker
planning to extend your jazz weekend by going to Pigeon Island, the culmination, Saturday, Sunday, which is about what you call the icing on the cake?
Yeah, I think I'm thinking about it. I will go see the main entree of what we have to. I think that's one thing I think St. Lucians will be interested in. But let's take it one day at a time.
Right.
Okay, one day at a time.
All right, guys. Up next, I got a full jazz segment for you guys. Keep it locked to 913-915. Commercial break.
Are you ready to be inspired? Tune in to Youth Engagement, where passion meets action and dreams turn